things that are not allowed: having friends over, non-essential travel, work for a non-essential business. One example they put out there is if you work in another county like Union and that business is not essential, you are not allowed to go to work. Now, there are a whole lot more categories of things that are allowed and aren't allowed. We're going to work through the night to make sure that we get a full list of those online and answer any questions that people have. But there will be pain. That's something that the emergency management director told county commissioners. This is not an easy order to follow. A lot of people's everyday lives will be altered because of this. Another thing they mentioned is the penalty. If you don't follow this order, it is a misdemeanor. The people will be enforcing this. It was even asked, what should they do if they see a large gathering? If people are throwing a party, just blatantly violating the stay-at-home order, the county attorney said that they can call the police to report those people for having that party. Now, this goes into effect Thursday at 8 a.m. It will last until April 16th at midnight. So a lot of things that we have to sort through here, and I know there are a lot of questions. If you look down here, this is what we've been monitoring. The meeting, it looks like, just ended. Commissioners were in closed session. They briefly came out to talk about future meetings and how they would do them virtually. It says the meeting is finished, so I guess that's over. That means we're going to have this virtual press conference on this laptop right here. You probably can't see the screen too well, but that's another reporter from WFAE standing by as we wait for Gibby Harris and the county manager to start the press briefing. We have a whole lot of questions. I know you do too. We're going to try to get as many answers as we can for this next live shot coming up on Eyewitness News at 6. Back to you.
We'll let you get to it in just 1 second, Joe. But as I was listening, and you were there in that meeting where they announced this, a lot of concern about the legality of all this. And some, even Trevor Fuller, saying, you know, could somebody challenge this? Do you get the sense they think that somebody might push back legally, or they're just kind of going through possibilities just in case?
I think commissioners have just gotten so many emails from people on both sides of this issue. But earlier today, they had a call with Governor Roy Cooper, and the governor told county commissioners across the state that they have the authority to issue these stay-at-home orders if they want to. If they feel like the things that they are seeing in their individual communities warrant those, they can implement those. Because keep in mind, there isn't a statewide stay-at-home order. But the governor made clear, you can do this, and we'll support you. We'll work together if you beat us to the punch. Scott.
All right, Joe, thanks a lot. We know you're monitoring and juggling about 10 things at once out there. We'll let you get back to it as you bring us the latest. And as Joe mentioned, not a statewide order, but the North Carolina Healthcare Association has been pushing for a statewide shelter-in-place order. Again, the one in Mecklenburg County is being called a stay-at-home order, but they're looking for something similar statewide. They sent a letter Sunday to Governor Cooper saying they're concerned about the rapid rise in cases, and with protective equipment running low, they want this. The group also says it'll take at least 2 weeks after a shelter-in-place order before we start to actually see a change in the rise in cases. Some other new developments tonight at 5. The North Carolina Board of Nurses is trying to get more health workers on the job. They're actually taking steps to help graduating nurses get a job more quickly and for retired nurses to rejoin the workforce. Garth Brooks had that big concert at Bank of America Stadium. Well, now that has been pushed back until June the 13th. And a new local testing site just opened up. This is going to be at Charlotte Motor Speedway's ZMAX Dragway.
In South Carolina, the governor there announced today that all schools are going to remain closed through the end of April. This applies to all K through 12 schools, along with universities and technical colleges. Now, Governor Henry McMaster also ordering that police can now break up crowds as defined as 3 people or more. So again, just 3 people now considered a crowd, and police can break up that group.
We're hearing, though, it's up to officers' discretion whether these people are a threat to public health. So there's a lot of wiggle room there. South Carolina reporter Greg Suskin spoke to police in Rock Hill today about how they look at this and how they're approaching it, because 3 people, that's hardly a large group, Greg.
Yeah, and this really may be a strange way to kind of explain this, but at least here in Rock Hill, they're going to deal with it kind of like they deal with fireworks. In the city limits of Rock Hill, you're not allowed to shoot off fireworks, but police are usually not going to pull up and tell you to stop unless someone complains about it. And this kind of situation will probably also be on a complaint basis because they don't want to turn their street officers into the social distancing patrol. So what we're hearing police will do is if they see a large gathering or maybe a place like a banquet hall or a place has been rented out for a party of some kind, they can go inside, talk to people, kind of deal with this on a one-on-one, case-by-case basis. Here's what officers say they'll do.
We're not going out and knocking on doors, and we're not going to be looking to see if we find 3 or more people congregating together. What we're going to do is we're going to use common sense judgment. If we get calls because somewhere there's some event being held or some mass gathering, we're going to go out there, we're going to determine exactly what's going on.
But there is another late twist in this afternoon, because only about 45 minutes ago, the state's attorney general put out an opinion that was given to all law enforcement officers across the state, and it's much more lenient. It basically says that any legal public gathering of people should be allowed to happen, even if it's not the wisest thing to do, that police should not interfere. And it went on to say further that the governor only meant to include boisterous crowds and unruly behavior in his executive order, not to break up normal activities. We'll see how this develops as it moves forward from here. Back to you.
Unruly and boisterous, 2 words that could have added a lot of clarity, and I think kind of clarifies for police that they can just, like you said, just kind of not be the social distancing police, but have authority if they need it. Thanks, Greg.